Hi, welcome to day 70 in our Bible in a Year reading. We're in Deuteronomy 1 and 2 today. And in Deuteronomy 1, we start with Moses recounting the stories of reminding the Israelites of what God has done. And he starts out and he reminds them of the time they stood on the edge of the promised land and they chose fear over faith. God called them to take the land at that time, but fear held them back. They sent spies into the land, and 10 of those spies saw giants. 2 saw the opportunity of what God could do, but 10 saw giants. And the story of the giants overshadowed the story of all God had done through his people leading up to that moment. They forgot. Fear made them forget all that God had done. And because of choosing fear over faith, they wandered in the desert for 40 years. And I think so often fear can fill in our gaps when we're not walking in the faithfulness of God, when we're not remembering. And I think that is why Moses is taking this final month before the people take the land to remind them of all God does and has done to get them to where they are, because he doesn't want fear to fill the gaps as they go into the land and they face new giants. They face new obstacles. The same God who parted the seas and who provided manna and who brought water out of the rock and protected them in battle is the same God going with them into the promised land. So then we go into Deuteronomy 2. And in Deuteronomy 2, it's interesting because they are now told that when they go into the promised land, there's actually land that they're not supposed to take. So they were not called to just go into the land and take whatever cities they wanted. God told them specifically which ones they could take. And I really like this. I'm going to read it off my notes. It says, sometimes obedience isn't about pushing forward into everything that looks promising. It's about discerning what God has actually given you and what he hasn't. May I discern that as well as you. What stood out to you? Let's learn and grow in God's word together.